Hi, Standard 7 pupils. I welcome you to our science lesson, whereby today still our topic is soil. The subtopic is artificial fertilizers. Pupils, welcome to our lesson. Artificial fertilizers, these are inorganic manures. They contain specific nutrients. They are made artificially in factories. The inorganic fertilizers are divided into two. One, straight fertilizers and compound fertilizers. Number one, straight fertilizers. Pupils, straight fertilizers, they contain one major nutrient which is known as macronutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Pupils, those that contain nitrogen are called nitrogenous fertilizers. Pupils, those that contain phosphorus are called phosphatic fertilizers. Those that contain potassium, pupils, are called potassic fertilizers. Pupils, examples of straight fertilizers are nitrogenous fertilizers. Examples of nitrogenous fertilizers are urea, CAN. The initial CAN, C stands for calcium, A for ammonium, and N for nitrate. Number 3, nitrogen fertilizers, we have bread meal, and then and last nitrogenous fertilizer is sulfate of ammonia. Another straight fertilizer, we have phosphatic fertilizer. Examples of phosphatic fertilizers, pupils, are as follows. We have TSP, meaning triple super phosphate. In short, or in letters, or in initials, it is TSP, meaning triple super phosphate. Another example for phosphatic fertilizer, it is DSP. In full, DSP, D stands for double, S stands for super, P stands for phosphate. So DSP, it simply means double super phosphate. Another example of phosphatic fertilizer is SSP. SSP, pupils, it simply means single super phosphate. Single super phosphate. In short, SSP. The last example of phosphatic fertilizer is bone meal. Potassic fertilizer. Examples of potassic fertilizers are muriate of potash and lastly sulfate of potash. Number 2, category number 2, it is compound fertilizers, also known as mixed fertilizers. Pupils, compound fertilizers, they are also known as mixed fertilizers. They contain more than one major, that's macronutrient nutrients. Examples of compound fertilizers are MAP, meaning monoammonium phosphate. MAB, meaning in full monoammonium phosphate. Another example is diammonium phosphate, DAP, diammonium phosphate. Another example of a compound fertilizer is NPK. NPK in full, or what the letters or initials NPK stands for is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Pupils, now we want to see the advantages and the disadvantages of using manures and fertilizers. Pupils, as all of you know, everything which has advantage has its disadvantages as well. So, advantages. Since plants need both inorganic and organic manures, below is a list of disadvantages in the use of organic manures and fertilizers. 1. High rate of crop growth results. Crops grow very, very fast and very good. 2. High quality of crop yields. The harvest is of high quality, what you can desire, what you can be proud of. 3. Leads to growth of plants that are deep green in color. Whenever you have a look on the crops, your eye is attracted because of it is greenish in nature. 4. Increase in size of seed, grain, and fruit, the size. Another advantage, strengthen the plant stem that support the plant. The stem is healthy and strong. Another advantage of using manures and fertilizers is that provide necessary nutrients for growth and development of crops. Another disadvantage is leads to quick ripening of fruits. The fruit ripens very fast. Another advantage is encourages vegetative growth of crops such as kales, also known as sukuma, cabbage, and lettuce, where the leaves are harvested. Another advantage, improved the circulation of the air in the soil. Air circulation is properly enabled. Another advantage, releases nutrients to the soil. If nutrients are released to the soil is fertile to enable crops grow well. Another advantage, builds the soil particles. Lastly but not least, improves the ability to hold water. Now, what are some of the disadvantages, the demerits of using manures and fertilizers? 1. The leaves get burnt by the fertilizers when they fall on them when meant to be applied on the soil. When the farmer is applying these fertilizers, they may fall on the leaves and burn the leaves. 2. Green manure is expensive to prepare. Most of the farmers grow food crops in their farms, and they could not like to cut down the crops before maturity so that they can blow them into the soil. Another disadvantage is green and compost manures take time to decompose, thus a delay in planting. If a farmer is entirely relying, depending on this compost manure and the green manure, because they take time to decompose, to rot, they make the farmer to delay. Another disadvantage is bacteria decomposing the materials. When preparing manure, use the nutrients from the decaying materials and they release these nutrients when they die. Another disadvantage, pupils, is crops grown for green manures use most of the water in the soil and leave little for the plants to be planted. Another disadvantage is if the plants do not use them immediately, inorganic manures will pollute the environment. Another disadvantage is if applied in large quantities, some of manures and fertilizers burn or scorch plants. Another disadvantage, some fertilizers absorb water in the atmosphere if exposed and they stick together. If they stick together, they go bad. Some fertilizers are corrosive. When you say corrosive, burn, and so can affect the hands of users if handled with bare hands. If you handle them without using proper clothing, without using gloves, your hands are going to be burnt or they corrode the hand. Lastly, but not least, some fertilizers evaporate and escape into the atmosphere when exposed to the sunlight. Pupils, that brings us to the end of our today's lesson about the division of fertilizers. Until next time, I urge you to go through the clip, you listen carefully, you make your own notes so that you read and read. If you do so, the message will be stored in the subconscious part of the brain for further transmission to examination papers. I wish you a lovely, blessed day. Until next time, when we're gonna have our science lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.